I want to take you now to a very important moment in human history. The year is 610, the month is the month of Ramadan, and we are toward the end of that month on a dark night. It is, of course, the moment that the first revelation comes upon the Prophet Muhammad on the Mount Hira outside Mecca. And this is the moment when, as it were, the final chapter in the revelations to humankind comes about. That's the place in which I need to start the story. Now, the Prophet then, first of all, tells his wife, Lady Khadija, about what has happened. She knows his character. She knows him better than anyone else. And so she makes her profession of faith in him, that this is a prophecy, a revelation, a message sent by God, and that he is indeed the prophet of God. So she becomes the first of his followers, the first female follower, but then the first male follower is to be Ali, the boy who is growing up in the household, the boy who has within him the light of the imamate, the boy who will become the successor to the Prophet. So Ali then also makes his profession of faith in the prophecy of Muhammad that he is a messenger of God. And he then develops in his understanding of what he has done and what God is doing in and through Prophet Muhammad. Now we are told that the Prophet, after some time, is told to call a meeting of his family and to declare his prophethood to them and to ask them who will be his helper in this mission. Of course, he is going to speak to his family first, because that is where he is rooted, that is where he would naturally seek to find helpers and supporters in his mission. And so we go to that meeting, the family gathering, when the Prophet declares himself to be a prophet of God. He asks, who will be my helper in this mission? Now, he doesn't get much of a response from the members of the family. The only one who is prepared to step forward and to make his declaration is Ali. Then again, he asked them, who will be my helper in this mission? I have been called by God as a prophet to call people to this purified way of life. And again, he meets with confusion and indeed with resistance. What is this he's saying? What is he talking about? And again, the only one to step forward and to make his declaration is the boy Ali, who by this time is on the threshold of growing into manhood. He is what we would today call an adolescent, and he it is who steps forward and who says, I will be your helper in your mission. Now, we need to think, why did he do that? You see, he had been living in the prophetic household for a number of years. He had been preparing himself physically by watching and absorbing the life of the prophet, mentally by listening to the way that he conducted himself, but also spiritually, because the prophet was always of the highest spiritual excellence, always seeking more and more knowledge of the one and only God. And that, of course, is the spirit in which Ali also had been brought up. He had been on his own spiritual journey even before this moment. But it is this moment in which a new corner is turned in his life and in human history. The turning of that corner is an awareness that he has made his declaration to follow the prophet and to be his helper. And now the prophet responds, "You will be my brother, you will be the executor of my will, and you will be my successor." My brother, my executor, and my successor. We see here three crucial functions, because to be the brother of the prophet is to say, you will be my closest male companion. You will be like my shadow for the rest of our lives together. To say that he is to be the executor of the will is to say that he has a responsibility at the death of the prophet, not only to see to the preparation of the body, to the burial of the prophet, but also to see that his wishes, to see that the elements of his will, as we would say today, are actually carried out. But then the crucial final dignity to which he is called, "And you will be my successor." Now, once we get to this moment, it is a new threshold, a new chapter in the life of the boy Ali. Because from this moment onwards, his consciousness is raised. I am to be the successor of the prophet. Now, before this, the prophet has been someone that he regards with the highest esteem, that he regards as being a role model and somebody that he should follow, somebody who shapes his character. But from this time onwards, a completely new dimension enters in. Because Ali now knows that it's not just during the life of the prophet that he is to imbibe and follow the message, but he is to be the successor of the prophet after that. And therefore, his awareness takes on a completely new dimension, because he knows that he is to succeed the prophet, and therefore he must pay absolute attention to everything that the prophet is saying and doing, and he is to be carrying that in his heart, where he is to weigh these things before God. Now, Ali as Imam, of course, is the successor to the prophet. However, he is an Imam in his own right. The light of imamate dwells within him. The light of ilham, the light of illumination, which will give him a clearer insight, a sharper perception of everything that God is commanding in the Quran and through the life of the prophet. And so it's not just an imitation that we're thinking of here, but from this moment onwards, knowing that he is to be the successor, he is growing into that role and that dignity which will carry on after the prophet's death. He knows then that he has to bear that light on into the future. And that light is, as it were, his own light, the light of imamate. He is not a prophet, but he is to be the successor of the prophet. Muhammad on one occasion makes this very clear in the richest possible way. He says, as Aaron was to Moses, as Harun was to Musa, so Ali will be to me. So Ali is to Muhammad, except that there is no more prophet after Muhammad. So Ali is not another prophet, but in every way he is to be the successor as the Imam to carry on after the prophet's time.